c'est un assassin.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 861. Hello, this is Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, here at the last place on Earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Today, it's the finale of my Into an Interview with Sam Cohen, the magical singer, songwriter, producer, and guitarist. Plus, it's Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster. And you know that website that's called Angie's List?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It has a list of reviews of helpful services in your area, and I thought it was free, but it's not, so it's back to Yelp. Old Miss.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That refers to the University of Mississippi, but there's some news about Angie's List we'll get to, so I sure love it when I come home from San Francisco and I'm riding on BART, and I have to go put up with all the drunks coming home from the games. You know, this time of year there's basketball and baseball and mo. It's living between three major cities. It's a three-ring circus.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And if you want a CGI ape, you should call Andy Serkus.
Mike's
but I don't think he's playing
Daily
an ape in the
Podcast.
new Star Wars movie.
Yeah!
Coming out this Christmas. They showed another trailer that has Mark Hamill's voice doing a voiceover as Luke Skywalker. And you think Fast and Furious broke records this year. You ain't seen nothing yet. This is going to be huge. And, of course, everybody's been talking about how it ends with Chewbacca and Han Solo, the recently recouped Harrison Ford, saying, "We're home." So, I can't wait to see this movie. I'm probably going to go out and see it. I have not been to a movie theater since I saw Lincoln. So this will be an interesting excursion for me, to be in a room with a bunch of other people and it's dark and I'm alone with my thoughts. And the guy yapping on the cell phone next to me. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. Hi, how you doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
You were just talking about Angie's List at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I was. And I find it's interesting. Angie's List. The name of that website, it's like Craigslist, Angie's List. It's like Mike's Daily Podcast. We all have an implied apostrophe because you have the possessive, right? Mike's, Angie's, Craig's. But you can't put an apostrophe in a URL address. So then the apostrophe just has to not be put in there. But some people are still stupid and try and put the apostrophe in there. In Germany, they call an apostrophe an apostrophe.
I don't think that's true.
Well, it could be.
Yeah, a lot of things could be. We could have Rand Cruiser up and going here real soon.
That's right. We got Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. You've got, what's his name? Ted Nugent saying that he hopes like Harry Reid dies, because Harry Reid says all these things like, because he's retiring and he's saying, he's a Democrat, and he's saying all these Republican candidates for president are ridiculous. They're all losers. So,
yeah, well, I agree with Ted Nugent because he's right, and he eats meat, and he kills animals, but he resupplies his ranch with other animals after he kills them.
I did not know that.
No, you told me that. You were watching an Anthony Bourdain show, and it told you that.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So the fact of the matter is, Rand Cruiser could happen, because now Ted Cruz first declared his candidacy for president. Then it was Rand Paul declaring his candidacy. It was like all following your thoughts and views there, disgruntled fiddle player.
That's right, and I knew Hillary was going to run for president too.
Oh my God. How did you figure that one out? That's amazing. Look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mac. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh boy!
Brewmaster, what kind of root beer did you make today?
Mac, I made a delicious, facetious root beer, because you were just facetious just then.
I was, yeah. Everybody knew Hillary was going to run for president, disgruntled fiddle player.
What? I can never understand what the general public believes.
Uh-huh. Benita, are you excited maybe we're going to have a female president? Yeah, Mark, I'm really excited. I think that's great. Even though she might be a Democrat. Well, she is a Democrat. And a disgruntled fiddle player doesn't like Democrats. Yeah, okay, well, I don't care what he thinks. I'm a woman, I can think for myself.
I guess we can agree to disagree. I believe that's the appropriate thing to say right here.
Very good. I guess you're going to stay married another day, disgruntled fiddle player Benita.
Thank you, marriage counselor, that you are definitely not even close to remotely being.
You're welcome. So Angie's List, their CEO, the chief executive of Angie's List, who announced yesterday that he is stepping down, he wants to re-enter state politics and help repair Indiana's image after the passage of Indiana's Religious Freedom Act. The news caught both the state's business and political communities by surprise. Some see the move as a direct effort to unseat Governor Mike Pence, who helped create this whole debacle with the Religious Freedom Act. So, Bill Osterly, he co-founded the online consumer review company Angie's List company 20 years ago, and he has been its only chief executive. He's 49 years old. He hasn't been involved in state politics since he managed two-term Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels' first election campaign in 2004. Let's hear it for Governor Mitch Daniels. I have absolutely no idea who that guy is, but whatever. If I did, maybe I could host a political podcast or a political conservative radio show. Wouldn't that be awesome? I'd actually get money for doing a show. Yeah. Dream on, Mike. So Bill's planned departure as Angie's List chief comes as the growing company faces a host of challenges, including competition from heavyweights Google and Amazon. Angie's recently outlined a $40 million expansion plan that calls for hiring 1,000 new workers over the next few years. This according to USA Today. However, Bill Osterly put that expansion on hold earlier this month after the passage of the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. He said the act, even amended, opens the door to discrimination against gays and lesbians and makes him inclined to expand in another state. Bill Osterly remains one of the only prominent central Indiana business leaders to express unhappiness over changes the legislature hastily made to state law to assuage critics. Advocates of the original law hailed its passage, saying it would protect people with sincere religious beliefs from government laws and actions that infringe on their religious practices. What do you think about that, about Bill throwing his hat into the ring? And now, I mean, that's like becoming a politician, and the media rakes you over the coals, and you have to get the people on board with you. It's just the money, the fundraising, it's crazy. I don't know why he wants to put himself into that situation. He might as well just keep running a pricier Yelp, and website and be happy with that. I mean, websites like, did you hear about Etsy? Did really well with its stock debut. I think that was today. And yeah, so that might be the place to be, is on big named websites that everybody knows about. I've known about Etsy now for years, and Angie's List. To me, they're both sort of in the same camp. I imagine a woman named Angie making special fancy little owl pillows that you would sell on Etsy. And I would have to buy all of them because I'm addicted to owls. They're okay. It's neat when you come upon an owl in nature. I like that, but just a bunch of owls around the house in pillow form doesn't really appeal to me. But what do you think about owls and about Etsy and Angie's List and Indiana's rules and the whole thing, the whole Star Wars trailer, ooh, and about coming home on a public transportation and getting a bunch of drunk idiot sports guys, and they're all hyped up because of the game. This is what happened last night on the BART. There was one guy who was a big Giants fan, baseball team, right? And then there was a big Warriors fan. That's a basketball team. Okay, we're all basically in the same area. We are cheering for both these teams. In fact, when they both got on the BART, they're both like, hey, man, how did your team do? It did bad. How did yours do? Oh, we won. Oh, great. And then they're both super loud. And there's a bunch of people in this car, and they're just like, come on, man. We don't need your stupid... And every word is F. F this, F that. And then the guy, the Giants fan, of course, he has to throw some trash on the ground. And then the Warriors guy is like, hey, man, pick up your trash. And then all of a sudden there's this all... Well, it stewed for a while. About 15 minutes went by. And I'm thinking, when are these guys going to get off? I mean, you know, we're stopping all along the way. And I'm like, why are these guys... They're not going as far as I am, are they? Oh, they are. And just about the time I'm about to get off, they start to almost fight. And then there was a bunch of, hey, and it was averted. But, stupid sports, man. People can't, you know what, it's actually stupid guys that can't handle their liquor and their sports together. You know, maybe they should find another hobby where they're not being so destructive. But what do you think about that and sports fans that are idiots on public transportation? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And by the way...
Oh, my God!
Email for email and your calm and not so comments.
I got a comment and an email from Perry, who says, hey, Mike, it's that cold in SF right now where you have to wear an overcoat? Oh, yeah, there was a picture of me on yesterday's podcast picture where I was over there at the, what the heck was the name of it? The Musical Offering Classical CD store and cafe in Berkeley. And there's a picture of me and I'm petting Nipper. And I am wearing an overcoat. And this was actually just a few weeks ago. It was raining and it was a bit chilly. It was, as you can see, though, in the podcast picture, I am wearing just a T-shirt underneath the overcoat. So, like, the overcoat was kind of overkill, but then I'm just wearing a T-shirt. I might as well have been naked. That T-shirt had basically no cotton in it. It was nothing. So, there you go, Perry. Oh, he also says, if you want filthy... Oh, yeah, because I was talking about how filthy BART and San Francisco can be. He says... Come see me, and I'll take you down to Soho. It makes SF look pristine. Okay. I've heard a lot about Soho. I've been to NoHo. But there's no ho like Soho. We've got Soma in San Francisco. But thank you, Perry. I may take you up on that because I've heard great... I think I did visit Soho when I went to New York a couple summers back in 2009. I may have just sort of been there. I know I was on Bleecker Street. But is that anywhere near? Anyway. You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or of course you can comment on where we are on Twitter and Facebook and all that. All the links to all those you can find at mikesdailypodcast.com, as well as where to find us on Instagram. We're on Yelp. And we're on Tumblr as well. And I am on a radio station in Connecticut. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. A link to that at mikesdailypodcast.com. And you can hear me playing country music on a country music internet radio station on the weekends. A link to that at mikesdailypodcast.com. And listen to this show in iTunes. Subscribe to this show there. You can comment and rate the show there. If you do that, more people find out about us and we don't languish in obscurity. We're also on YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, and Ameristream. Another great way to support the show is if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through the Amazon link at mikesdailypodcast.com. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and then that helps us out. But go to mikesdailypodcast.com first to do that, and then bookmark it so that you don't have to keep going through it. It helps us out. And it doesn't change the way you shop either. Benita, do you go to Amazon a lot? Mark, I go there all the time because I'm constantly buying rabbit food. Oh, rabbit food, huh? And then you have rabbits? No. And then there's also the blog, the Daily Podcast picture, and all my past interviews there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Mike, I gotta go home and feed my rabbits. Bye, I'll buy. Wait a minute. She can be confusing sometimes. Speaking of interviews, it's the finale of my interview with singer-songwriter, producer, guitarist Sam Cohen.
Into an interview.
Sam Cohen, he's got a new album called Cool It coming out April 28th on Easy Sound Records. And I'm speaking with him. I wanted to ask you about your song El Dorado. And I love this. I love this song. It's got this mellow, kind of dreamy kind of sound. Like, I could imagine this on a movie soundtrack too. It's got this cool feel to it.
Cool, thanks.
And do you was that inspired by a movie or anything, or how did you come about making this one?
I just sort of had the chords for this one first, but it definitely came together to me in images, and then the lyrics just kind of describe images. So it felt like a movie to me when I was writing it. It's kind of like I actually see it as a sort of post-apocalyptic, or maybe not apocalypse, but like post-disaster song, and it doesn't like address that especially clear in any way, but it's just like I don't know, it's just like these old burnt out houses, and like it's just something strange in the air to me, and that's sort of what I was trying to convey,
And you're such a great musician. What advice do you give to people out there? What would you give to like young people that want to become a musician?
Just do it.
Do it. Just do it.
Become a musician. Practice and be good and make good stuff and try to add quality things to a very vast pool of stuff. We don't need anything crappy. We need stuff real and good.
Yeah. And if you could meet a guitar legend that, is there one that you would like to meet other than Slash?
Living or dead?
Yeah, living or dead.
Jimi Hendrix, for sure.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Would you say, hey, how did you do that solo on that album? Or, would you, how do you get...
I don't know. It depends on the context in which we met.
Yeah. Like
if it was just real quick, I'd be like, hey, big fan. I don't want to teach you, but, man, you really, thank you. Thanks so much. But if we could hang out, that'd be, way better.
See, I do that exact same thing that you just did. I'm a big fan, don't want to take your time, and then I feel like an idiot afterwards. It's like, why did I say how did that contribute to anybody's life? Oh, I guess maybe mine, but yeah, I don't know. That's all.
You never know. Maybe you caught them on a day where they were like, man, I've been busting my ass doing this music thing for decades, and no one gives a about me. And then you walk up and you're like, hey, don't want to take your time, but thanks for all the great music. It really meant a lot to me. Blah, blah, blah. But you can tell when you do it sometimes. I don't do it much anymore if I can avoid it. But, I met Mark Ford, who was in the Black Crowes when they made Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, which was a big guitar album for me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was actually dropping by a studio in Hudson to, pick up some tapes with my friend, and he was just sitting there in the control room, and I was kind of, looking at him sideways, and it was like, are you Mark Ford? He's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, man, just got to say, you really helped, shape me as a guitar player. I looked up to you so much when I was young and learning. He was like, And I could, definitely tell. It's not cool at all that I'm name-calling him out and saying he wasn't gracious. Never mind. Sorry. You're awesome, Mark. You're still awesome. I don't care how you respond.
I had that same experience when I met Steve Lukather from Toto. It was after a Toto concert, and I go, I really like your song. I picked the most obscure Toto a song. They had all their songs are named after women, basically. Roseanne, Pamela, all that. I go, I loved Africa. No, wait, that's not the name of a woman. But I go, I love your song, Anna. And Steve Lukather just kind of looked at me like, what? Who? Get out of here. You're not a hot woman. Get out of here. So.
Yeah, there's that reaction as well.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep saying my little goofy things where I go, hey, I'm a big fan. Because maybe I have cheered them up in some way.
Yeah, if you want to say it.
Well, Sam Cohen, your album is Cool It, and it is cool. It is. It is definitely cool, and it's on Easy Sound Records. People can find out more about you on Facebook, facebook.com/Sam Cohen Music. Let's play El Dorado on Mike's Daily Podcast. Sam Cohen. As we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Castro Valley, California. Big thanks to Sam for being on the show.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture was taken in Petaluma at this place called Steamer Landing Park. And Petaluma is really far inland. It's kind of interesting in that it is still attached, even though it's so far inland, it's attached by a waterway that allows you to go all the way out through underneath the Golden Gate Bridge and out to the Pacific Ocean. So I guess big steamboats used to come through there, and they used to dock around there years and years ago. Petaluma is a very, very old town. Used to be a big chicken town. They grew chicken and exported them, and they grew chicken? They raised chicken. There we go. Hi, I'm a farmer. And then that picture there you can see, and there's an interesting sculpture sitting there right in the middle of that lagoon in that picture, and it's green and it's scenic. See it now at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Mark, that was an excellent description of that picture. Thank you. I think my husband is really excited about Rand Cruiser. Yeah, he is. He really wants Ted Cruz and Rand Paul to run the country.
I don't think it's that far-fetched. I mean, come on. Who's going to vote for a woman?
I'm going to vote for a woman disgruntled fiddle player.
Well, then we can agree to disagree. We're still married, right?
I'm glad you guys worked that out. And thanks for the facetious root beer, Brewmaster.
I can't wait for Shirley Shuhart to open up her chicken pot pie bar in her gift shop here at Cafe Anyway. Oh boy!
You do sound excited. You don't think it's like a form of competition. She'll have food, you'll have drink, maybe you'll compete.
Mike, I'm in love with her. I'll do anything in order to work with her. She can have the food, I'll have the drink. It's the perfect marriage. Are we still married?
You're not married, you're not even married, you're not even dating Shirley Shuhart. Does she even know you exist?
Who?
Next show, it is the return of the much-loved feature News Random, where we'll take a look at some interesting news stories that are held together by a very fine thread. Fascinating news stories. Next show. Plus, we will hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at Mike'sDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!